Welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia Workman and I make videos around self-help, your relationships, dating skills, how to love yourself more, and many more topics. So if you want more of this, be sure to subscribe and please like this video if it is helpful for you at the end of the video so that I know that this is something that you're interested in. And what I'm going to be talking about right now is how we judge others and then project our insecurities onto others. And then we can also look at how other people are doing that to us and how they're putting their desires onto us. But we take that so heavily and we feel very pushed in our life and we feel scared about telling people what it is that we want or what it is that we're doing because we are afraid of their judgments and their reactions. So the first thing that I want to point out, and I am the first one to admit this, and this is where we start judging other people. And we can see this in many different ways. So we may look at a friend, we might look at our neighbors, we might look at a family friend, and we start judging the things that they do. It could even be something like picking out somebody for the furniture that they've decided to buy. It could be looking at how somebody decides to decorate their house. It could be looking at where somebody decides to go for a holiday. And it can look like things such as, I don't know why they'd want to go there. That's not a really nice place. Maybe they're just trying to save money and maybe they don't have enough money to go somewhere nicer. And so what it is it's looking for the flaws in the decisions that others have made to then try and find the things that they've done which makes them in a lower position than yourself. And so when we're doing this, we're actually feeling better in that moment because we're thinking, well, I've chosen this furniture and therefore it looks nicer or it's more expensive or whatever your reason is for that. Or it could even be that, you didn't spend that much and so you're a lot smarter with your money, not unlike them who may be a little bit more free-flowing with their money and they've just gone and spent it. So it can actually be looking at it from either angle. Either you are smarter with your money, you're better with your money, or they spend too much. But really behind that is a desire for you to be able to spend more or for you to be able to do more with your money. Maybe you actually want to be like that. But sometimes when we're in this mindset, it's very hard for us to actually admit what it is that we want. And so that's why when we're looking at the flaws of other people or we're looking at the relationships of other people that are going really wrong, it's actually either making us feel better in that moment because there's things that we're not addressing, and so it's a distraction for us from our own issues. Whereas if we look head on at our own issues and what we're facing, then suddenly that outer world and what everyone else is doing doesn't really matter. It's not so important, or we can actually relate instead of judging them. And so when we start judging them and then projecting onto them what it is that we're feeling or what it is that we're wanting, this is when it becomes a problem in our life. But it can actually become a really big blessing because you can start looking at it as, what are my hidden desires here? So for example, perhaps in myself, I'm looking at a certain car that somebody bought. Perhaps that is my desire. Or I'm looking at how somebody decorates their house and it's a lot more calming than mine. And, perhaps I'm saying that this is a much more boring house than my own, but really deep down my hidden desire is that I want to have a more calming and free-flowing environment. So we always want to look for those little hidden desires that are there and be honest with ourselves and know that there's absolutely nothing wrong with having those hidden desires, even having those judgments, because it is completely normal, but it's actually looking at, okay, what are these judgments and what are they telling me about myself? Where can I go with those judgments and what can I do in my own life to change this? And also, if it is a negative judgment on what somebody else is doing, try and let it go and tell yourself that we're all one, that we are all connected, because in the universe we really are all connected. And every single person on this planet, good, bad, or whatever it is that you want to call it, has a part of us and we have a part of them. We are all connected in some way. And so when we actually judge other people, sometimes in our own lives, it ends up happening to us. And then we can't accept it because all these years we've been judging somebody else for that. And so then when it happens to us, it is really hard to accept it and take it on board because we have a very judgmental mindset. And so The other aspect to this is that perhaps it's your parents, it could be a sister, brother, uncle, auntie, anybody. It could even be friends. And sometimes we're scared to tell them things like perhaps, we're scared to tell them that we want to go back and study instead of getting married or buying a house. Or we want to tell them that we're going to go and buy a property in a certain area, or that we can't afford to buy at this stage, or that we want to enter a certain relationship, or that we're not friends with somebody anymore. And these things can feel really scary for us to let the other people in our lives know. And the reason is because we are afraid of what their response is going to be. We fear that it won't be welcomed. We fear that we will be judged. And somewhere on the inside, we are also judging ourselves for that. But the way that you can let this go and not worry so much is you can say that however they choose to respond to that, and however they choose to judge you on their end, if they are going to judge you, that is about their mindset and where they are at in their own life. So just how you've applied that to yourself, you can also apply that to them. And so if they don't receive this with welcome arms and they don't receive it in a nice way, that is more about them, and it's saying everything about them and where they're at. But the best thing that you can do is you can communicate the message, you can be honest with yourself, and then allow them to respond however they want to respond. But the more accepting that you are, you will find that people in your life are also going to be a lot more accepting as well. And they will start getting a vibe and an energy off you that there is not much that they can say to this, because you have made up your mind, you're confident in your decision, and that is what it will be. So I really hope that this has given you a little bit of an insight as to how we firstly judge others, and then how we project our own judgments onto other people. And then when our family or our friends or whoever it is in our lives start to judge us, we become really afraid. But it's actually really about them and their own desires for us. They're hoping that we do something with our lives, because somewhere deep down, perhaps it's their own insecurity of what they want us to do with our lives. As a parent, and I feel this for my daughter, if she decides to do something that perhaps I don't want her to do, maybe that comes back to my own insecurity of how have I raised her, and perhaps I didn't teach her in this particular area. But that deep down is my own desire, my own thinking, and my own thoughts. But it's actually about her and her own journey, and she needs to choose what's right for her. And that is the same for you in your own life. And so when it comes to our parents or our family, they need to look at that and start accepting that about us. But if they aren't able to, just understand that it is so much about them and not about you. And please let me know if you did enjoy this video. I have been making a lot more videos here on my laptop, which is really fun and easy and quick, and I can cover lots of topics for you and just let you know where I'm at with my own life and my own experiences. And I really look forward to seeing you again in my next video.